Let me welcome everyone here to the United States Capitol. We are outside of the room of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee here in the United States Capitol. It was in this room that the Senate Foreign Relations Committee took up the bill that is known as the Magnitsky bill and passed it unanimously. So a lot of important work was done right at this place. We are very honored to have the Magnitsky family with us today in the United States Capitol. We welcome his mother, his wife, and his son. As I told them when I had a chance to talk in the committee room, we applaud their courage. Their son, their husband, their father exercised tremendous courage in doing what any citizen we would like to think would do. And that is, as a young lawyer who discovered corruption, he reported it to the local authorities. As a result, he was arrested, he was tortured, he was denied medical care, and he died in a Russian prison. Sergei Magnitsky is an inspiration to human rights advocates around the world. He offers a legacy of courage and that people will, in fact, stand up for basic human rights. It is so important, the work that the Magnitsky family is doing. By being here today, by being the face of this issue, they personalize it. Statistics are important, but statistics can be dry. We know of thousands of people who have been victimized by similar types of human rights violations. We know about that. But by personalizing it, by showing this beautiful family, his young son, the international community understands that what was done in Russia cannot go unpunished. And that's why it is so important that they are here today. I am proud that the legislation that I drafted is now the law of the land. I talked about the fact that it was initially passed in this committee room, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. It then was passed on the floor of the United States Senate by an overwhelming number. It was, as you know, combined to a trade bill. And I must tell you, I think the fact that the Magnitsky provision was attached to the trade bill made it a lot easier for the trade bill to pass. It was then passed by the House of Representatives. There was bills back and forth, and the President signed it into law. We now have a list that has been compiled by our State Department, and that list has been made public. What the bill simply does is say that we want countries to abide by the rule of law. But passing laws that protect the public is not the rule of law. It's having basic protection in your law and then enforcing those protections in an objective, independent way. Russia has not done that, as evidenced by the manner in which Sergei Magnitsky lost his life, and those responsible have not been held accountable. We now have a public list, and that was our intentions of having a public list. If Russia would stop wasting time prosecuting a dead person for doing what is right, but instead held those who are responsible accountable, there would be no need for a list in the United States or in any other country. It is our intentions that this is an international standard. Those who violate recognized international human rights standards should not be legitimated. They should not be able to travel to another country, and they should not be able to use our banking system. And that is simply what the Magnitsky legislation does. We want you to know, the Magnitsky family, that your husband's courage has made a huge difference. You have saved lives. You have encouraged others. I must tell you, I have received numerous communications from citizens in Russia telling me that Russia can do better and must do better. And for the sake of Russia, they need to deal with this issue. You have helped us move forward internationally with a standard that says we want nations to hold their citizens accountable for gross violations of human rights. And if you don't, the international community will not legitimate the actions of those individuals. I want to thank Bill Browder for the work that he has done, and he has given me information about individuals that are involved in the tragedy against Sergei Magnitsky. And I want to thank Bill for the incredible work that he has done in bringing this to the attention of so many different people. The Magnitsky list is the first list. It's not the last list. And this information will be turned over to the State Department, and we will ask them to follow up on the names. I would hope that the Russian Federation would take this information and use it to hold those responsible accountable. That's what should be done with this list. Our objective, again, is to get countries to act. And if they did, there would be no need for other countries to be involved in these types of lists. I also want to acknowledge Juliana Glover, who is here. I want to acknowledge David Kramer, the president of Freedom House, but I know David is an active member of the Helsinki Commission and a person who helped us on a lot of these human rights issues. There have been a lot of people involved. I have been helped in this process by many members of the United States Senate and House of Representatives on both sides of the aisle. In these days of partisan division in Washington, Sergei Magnitsky brought Democrats and Republicans together for the right reasons, to fight on behalf of human rights and to do what America does best, and that is stand up for human rights wherever we may be needed around the world. Thank you all for joining us, and I want to give Sergei Magnitsky's mother an opportunity to say what she would like to say. She will do that with the help of an interpreter.
Извините, я волнуюсь.
I'm sorry, it's a bit nervous for me.
Но я хочу поблагодарить всех тех людей, которые занимались принятием закона имени моего сына.
I want to thank all the people who were making this law named after my son.
Я хочу поблагодарить всех людей, которые нас поддерживают.
I would like to thank all the people who are supporting us.
Многих из них мы не знаем.
We don't know even personally many of them.
Вот за эти 2 дня мы многих узнали.
But for these 2 days we saw many of them,
И очень приятно сказать слова благодарности.
and it's a great pleasure for us to say thank you to all of them.
Да, лично, глаза в глаза.
It's so important to say thank you to each person looking in his eyes or her eyes.
Я хочу поблагодарить также и журналистов,
I also want to say thank you to the journalists
которые освещают все это
who are
дело
writing about it,
и дают возможность многим людям узнать о том, что происходит.
Which gives an opportunity to many people to know the truth, what is happening.
Я хочу поблагодарить Билла,
I also want to thank you, Bill,
потому что если бы не он,
because if not him,
то ничего бы этого не было.
nothing would happen.
Я понимаю, что он действует как человек, честный, порядочный, который относился с уважением к моему сыну.
And I understand that he is acting as a really honored man who really liked my son.
И для нашей семьи он стал близким человеком.
And he is very close to our families in that.
Спасибо.
Thank you again.